Welcome gamers and game enthusiasts to my first video in a series based around the fundamentals of video game design. I hope you're having a great day so far. Today we're going to discuss two specific ideas of game design, game mechanics and level design, which are core principles that shape the gaming experiences we all love, so let's get straight into it. Before we go into these two ideas, what is game design? I like to define it as a list of principles that go into how the player interacts with the game world, its environments, the pacing of progression, and also what makes up the overall gaming experience. Game design is also a reflection of what the developers want the player to experience, whether it be a soul-crushing narrative, over-the-top action, or give the players total creative freedom. First, we will get into game mechanics, which refer to the rules and systems that govern a game. They define how the player interacts with the game world, including controls, physics, combat mechanics, puzzles, and more. Well-designed game mechanics provide a sense of challenge, reward, and progression, ensuring players stay engaged with the game that they're playing. Something as simple as movement in a game to something as complex as aiming in a shooter can vary greatly from game to game. Since there are hundreds upon hundreds of game mechanics that I can rant about the entire video, I'll keep it simple and just talk about movement in platformers, as most people can relate to that. So we can take Super Mario Bros., a beloved classic, as an example. So one day I was walking around campus and I found a club playing around with an old arcade machine running the first Mario game from 1985. So naturally I gave it a try, and to my surprise I found something as simple as movement and gravity physics are completely different compared to the Mario of today. One contributing factor to this difference is that the time period in which the games were made. However, this realization gave me an insight into how much control we now have in modern games compared to older ones. In this case, Nintendo wanted to give the player more control over Mario with how he moves along the screen, with more precise movements. And in this clip here, I show you that Mario slows down even after I release the button, which makes him slide a little bit, which makes him slightly harder to control. Now, the evolution of something as simple as movement controls has come a long way in every genre. We can see games that are more fluid, like the motion in Titanfall and Black Ops 3, and how gravity accelerates differently in modern platforms, and the player gets a much better sense of control in the character they're playing, which provides a greater player experience, I think. There are a lot of other mechanics like shooting, aiming, exploration, secondary abilities, and the tactility of all these mechanics, but that would make a general video like this one a little too long. Alright, so let's move on to the next facet of game design, level design. Level design is a crucial aspect of game development. It involves creating interesting and well-paced levels or environments for players to explore. Level designers carefully consider factors like flow, pacing, balance, and the optimal placement of challenges, secrets, and rewards to maintain the player's engagement and satisfaction. There are three main ideas I want to talk about here, which is gameplay flow, environmental arrangements, and challenge and progression. Gameplay flow focuses on guiding players through a series of challenges, objectives, or narrative beats during the game. The layout of the level should facilitate a smooth and logical progression, providing a sense of direction while also allowing the players the freedom to explore. The pacing of encounters and the balance between moments of tension and relief are crucial in maintaining player engagement. Great examples of flow are found in all the Doom games. Each game shows a great layout to the level and the player knows exactly how to progress, which makes Doom's linear design extremely entertaining along with its fantastic gameplay. Level designers create visual and audio aspects of the game world, including architecture, landscapes, lighting, sound effects, and music. The environment should reflect the game's themes, settings, and atmospheres, immersing the player into a believable and captivating world. Visual cues and environmental storytelling can guide the players, convey information, and enhance the overall narrative. Just take Elden Ring as an example here. A great open world with tons of beautiful landscaping, which doesn't overwhelm the player, therefore giving the game a very natural presentation. And the best part of this type of environmental design is that it allows the player to point somewhere in the distance and go there without any problem, unless you get distracted by a mini-boss or something. For challenge and progression, level designers aim to create a sense of challenge and reward as the player progresses through the game. They introduce new mechanics, obstacles, and enemies, gradually allowing the player to learn and master them over time. The difficulty curve should be balanced to provide a sense of accomplishment without frustrating players. The perfect example of games that do this masterfully are Hollow Knight and Hades. Both indie games introduce mechanics slowly as to not overwhelm the player, and then test their newfound knowledge and skill via a boss fight or a difficult platforming sequence. With these two ideas in mind, I hope you gained a better understanding of why the games we play are so fun in the first place by looking at game mechanics and level design. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing, and I would love to hear what you guys think about these ideas down in the comments below.